Good morning. Welcome to Member Focus Monday. I'm Christina Schaefer, social media manager for HAR and a Matrix enthusiast, if you will. This morning, we are going to be going over 3 things that you may have missed in Matrix. If you're not aware, Matrix is constantly being updated and developed to better suit our members' needs. We work hand in hand with actually volunteer members that help us come up with great ways that we can improve Matrix. Also, there's a feedback button within Matrix where we take your suggestions, things that you would like to see changed, things that you would like to see improved, that can really help us shape Matrix in a way that's going to benefit our members. So we're going to be going over 3 things specifically that have been added in the last couple of months that you may have missed in Matrix. And actually, one of them is actually in the app. So we're going to get into the app first, and then we'll get into the desktop version of Matrix. Before we do so, I do want to encourage everyone to like this post, share it. Anybody who is a Matrix user will find this beneficial. So if you're friends with other realtors, share it with them, share it on your Facebook page so other people can see it. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start, like I said, on the phone. So I'm actually in the app. And I'm logged in as one of our members who lets us use his account for demonstration purposes. So I'm already in his app now. Okay. And actually, give me just one second. I have the Matrix pulled up. Here we go. Now you can see it. All right. So I'm looking at the app here, and I'm already logged in. So that's the first step. You would need to be logged in. So the first thing that we're going to get into is Quick Edit. Now, last week we heard from the MLS director, Sean Delphine, about Quick Edit, and now we're going to actually take a look at it and how you could do it. So I'm logged in, and let's say that I needed to update the status on one of my listings. So what I can do is scroll down to My Listings, tap on that, and then I see all of his listings here. I can go ahead and tap on one. So let's say I wanted to tap on this first one. And you'll see at the top of the screen 2 options popped up, Quick Edit and Edit in Matrix. So Edit in Matrix will actually open up the Matrix program so you see it in the desktop version, which is of course very helpful. But Quick Edit has also been added because the desktop version of Matrix, while it has all of the options and it's great, it's not as easy to see. So for our convenience, they've added in this Quick Edit option. So now you can see that I can hit the change button on the right hand side to change listing price, to change status. If I needed to change anything in public or private remarks, I can do that at this time as well. So very easy to do. To make any changes, and just so that we can see, I'll click change next to status, and you can see how I can very easily select a new status there and save it. Let me back out of that. So again, to access that, what I did on the main screen of the app, the HAR app, pardon me, is I tapped My Listings. I tapped on the first listing in this case, and then again, I have Quick Edit or Edit in Matrix. So I tapped Quick Edit. And what's great about that is you'll see it scrolls. I didn't have to do any scrolling. It scrolls me right down to the sections where I could make a quick edit. So at this time, I could change, again, status, price, and some of the remarks. Okay, so that is the first thing within Matrix that you may have missed. And again, I access that by tapping My Listings. I can also tap Add Edit Listings. And you see I have options here too. So I can do a quick edit. I can choose a listing. Or again, I can go ahead and open up the full desktop version of Matrix to make a change. So why would I choose one or the other? If I needed to change something outside of price, status, or remarks, I would need to go into Matrix. Those are just the most commonly updated fields, and so they've made it very easy for us, if I hit choose listing, to make a change to that listing. Okay, I'm going to stop for just a second to see if we have any questions. If you do have questions, type them into the comments and I will get to them as we go through. So this first one again was Quick Edits in Matrix. And if you haven't noticed that in the app yet, it's very important that you just go ahead and take a look at it. That way when you do need it, you know how to do it and you won't have any issues with it. All right. So don't see any questions at this time, just a comment from Richard, wonderful tool and awesome training and support. Yes, we're really excited about this quick edits. It was something that we had needed for quite some time and our members had been requesting, so we're happy to now have that available for everyone. So that is it for quick edit. So we've already gone through one of the things you may have missed in Matrix. So I'm going to get out of the phone now and go ahead and go over to the desktop version of Matrix so that we can take a look at some other things that we may have missed. So again, last week we heard from Sean Dauphine, our director of MLS, about the 360 property view. So one thing that we know that we got maybe about 6 months ago was Matrix 360. Matrix 360 brought an integration from the tax data into the MLS. So now Matrix is almost a one-stop shop for a property. If I'm wanting to see information about the property, the listing information, I can find that in Matrix, but now I can also find tax information in Matrix as well. So I'm going to show you how we can easily do that. Now to get us ready, I've already run a search here to get us to this point. I've put in my criteria and I got us to the agent single line display, or the grid as some people refer to it. So let's just say I wanted to take a look at one of these listings and learn more about it. I'm going to click on the MLS number here. And it's defaulted to show me, if you see right over here on the right hand side, the display agent full with tabs. So that means the agent full report with tabs. These right here are the tabs. Okay, now let's say I wanted to see tax data. Well, we do have right here a clickable tax number. If I click that, that is going to pull up tax records and eventually put me over into Realist, which is the tax program that we use and still have access to. But even easier, if I were to just click on display and change that display to the 360 property view, you can now see that I have different options up here at the top. So here's all the information about this listing, like we saw, right? But now I also have tax data. So right here, I do have a tax tab that I can tap on to see the tax data. I can see photos and a property history report like I could see in the other view. But now we can actually take it a couple of steps further. I can see a parcel map. So I can see where this falls on the map, as well as a parcel view with the lot square footage on there, which is really helpful as well. And I can scroll down to see, again, the property on a map. And the next one, which is a really exciting one, I can also see where this property falls on the flood map. Okay, so I tapped flood map and I can see that it's orange, and we see that our legend down here tells me orange is out of special flood hazard area. So very quickly and easily right here in Matrix, I can see parcel, tax, flood information all there. You'll also see a foreclosure tab. If the property has any foreclosure history, I would be able to click on that and see information about that foreclosure history. In this case, it does not, so it's just giving me the option that I can't click on it. Okay, so again, let's go back to how I did that. I ran a search in Matrix. I tapped on an MLS number to pull up a property. And right over here where it says agent full with tabs, I changed that display to the 360 property view. 360 property view. And there we go. I can see the listing information, tax information, parcel map, and of course the flood map all there. And it's very easy to toggle back and forth between them. All right, I'm going to take a second to just stop for questions if there are any. Again, if you have any questions, type them into the comments and I will get to them in just a little bit. Okay. So I have a few people saying they don't see quick edit. I would encourage you to go to your App Store or Google Play Store and make sure that you have the HAR app up to date. We always want to have the newest version in there. This was just released recently, so I would consider maybe checking to see if the app is up to date. If that's not the case, you can always reach out to our support team, support@har.com, or you can call them and they can help you with that. But you should be able to go into your listings, tap on the listing, and then see quick edit or edit in Matrix. So this is a question I was expecting us to get. Tracy and Chrissy are both asking, is it possible to make the 360 view the default view? And yes, it is, but that would make it the default view over the single line display. So let's just say, I ran a search. Instead of being able to see the grid, my default would be the 360 property view of the first property. Okay, so yes, you can do that, and I'll show you how, but just know that it would be superseding the agent's single line display, or the grid as some people call it. So you wouldn't see that as your default. Now, we have put in a suggestion to our MLS department for them to review, and that would be that instead of, when I click on a listing, instead of it going to the agent full with tabs, that it could go to the 360 property view. That's something that they are reviewing, and will definitely be a very big decision, because it would be a global decision across all of our Matrix users. So they are reviewing that and considering that. But to answer the question that you did ask, if I wanted to change it to where it's going to show me the 360 property view, all I would do is go to 360 property view, and then where we see this little toggle over here, I would tap on that, or click on that, excuse me, and then hit set current display sort order and count per page as my starting default. But then again, remember now, if let me just back out of here and run a search again. If I run that same search I ran earlier, or if I just run a new search, it's taking me to the 360 property view, not the single line display, okay? So, and again, I have 27 results, and I'm just looking at one right now. So it's a personal preference. If you prefer to see that, you can, but the single line display, you would just have to kind of change your display to go back to that. So as far as, again, clicking on an MLS number and it going to the 360 property view, there isn't a way to do that at this time, but that is something we were reviewing internally to see if we could make that a global change for all of our Matrix users. Okay. Okay. Again, a couple people saying they don't see quick edit, so just make sure that your app is up to date. Your HAR app is up to date, and again, if you still don't see that, you can always reach out to our support team, support@har.com, or you can always call HAR and get some help with that. Okay. All right, and again, if you have any other questions as we're going through this, just type them into the comments, and I will take a look at them. So we've gone over two of the three. We talked about quick edits. We've talked about the 360 property view, which is so helpful and really, really great integration of the tax data into Matrix. I should just let you all know as well, you still have access to Realist. Right up there at the public records, you have access to Realist Tax. We heard from, again, Sean Dauphine last week, and he said that we don't have an estimated date or anything like that, that Realist will be going away, or that we'll be losing Matrix. In fact, around the country, there are other MLSs using Realist as well still. So CoreLogic, the developers, haven't set a date or anything to remove Realist. We can still go access it, but we have it now in the 360 property view as well. So we know there are some Realist fans out there who like using Realist, and you're more than welcome to continue using that. We just want to make sure that you know this 360 property view is here to save you time. The only difficulty with Realist is that it is flash based, so anybody on an Apple device might have difficulty using Realist. So that is the scoop there, if you will. So we are going to move into number three, the number three thing that you may have missed in the last couple of months, and that is TeraDatum reports. HAR releases a market update every month, and that market update is a look at the Houston region. Okay, so all of the cities, counties, subdivisions, zip codes in the Houston region, what happened in that real estate market. Inevitably, we always get questions about, well, how can I just look up what's going on in my area? You know, I'm more concerned about the Sugarland area, or I'm concerned about this one specific zip code, maybe, for example. So you have statistic reports up here at the top of the screen. You can take a look at those. They're really good. They're customizable. But you also have TeraDatum reports that have been built in at just the click of a button that you don't have to create and customize yourself. So in this case, I already pulled it up for us, so I'm just going to toggle over to it. But let's just say I was looking at properties in this area, and I wanted to see what's going on in the League City geo market area in this case. Okay, so I clicked on League City, and that pulls up this TeraDatum report. Okay, so these are market trends, and there are several different reports that are attached to this. So in this case, I'm looking at closed listings. Okay, I can see new listings, pending listings, average days on market. Very common question we get whenever we release that market update is, what was the average days on market for the Houston region as a whole? But here I can see it very easily for just this geo market area. Median sales price, average price per square foot, sale price to original price ratio, and the month supply, so the months of inventory supply there as well. Okay, so I over here on the right hand side, I can change the search criteria. If I click on the little magnifying glass there, as you can see, I'm looking, the default is I'm looking at 3 years of data. I could change that to 1 year. I could do a month per year to date. I can change the property type. I'm looking at all property types, right, or excuse me, all single family property types right now because that was what my search was, but I could change that very easily. Maybe I wanted to just see what's going on with rentals, for example. Area types, again, I was doing the geo market area for League City, so I can see that there, okay? If I made any changes, I could rerun my search from there as well. Also, to the right of that magnifying glass, I have a little cloud with an arrow pointing down. That is to download this report. So if I wanted to download it onto my computer, maybe to print out to share with a client or customer, I can very easily do that from here as well. And we just see the report is very simple, very modern looking, easy to understand, easy to read. Again, I'm looking at 3 years of data here, but if I were to change it to maybe 1 year, it would be even bigger and easier to read. So again, how did I do that? I clicked on League City right there. That is a clickable link, the market area for League City. I clicked on that to pull up that report. Now I chose to click on the market area, but there are other options. I could have clicked on county. So if I wanted to see what's going on in Galveston County, I can do that. In the city of League City, which may be different with the geo market areas, you never know. So there's some differences there. I could have also clicked on the zip code to see this as well. So in this case, most of the 77573 is the geo market area for League City, but as we know, geo market areas are different all over Houston and surrounding areas. They don't always coincide with the zip codes, so you may have some differences there. So again, when I'm looking at any report, I can very easily click on city location, county, market area, or zip code to be able to pull up these wonderful, easy to read, professional looking TeraDatum reports. Okay, so that's the third thing that you may have missed in Matrix. I'm going to take a look to see questions. All right. So thank you, Natalie, for answering the question. Yeah, to make sure your app is up to date, go to your App Store or your Google Play Store and you'll search HAR and you should be able to see if it's up to date. There it'll have a button that says update. Okay. All right. So Debbie asked if TeraDatum can report, can be emailed directly from here. That is a really good suggestion that I can definitely pass along. At this time, there isn't a way to do that right from here. But like I said, I could download the report and then email it. So an extra little step there, but definitely a great suggestion that I can pass along there, Debbie. So asking about rentals, how I got to rentals. So it would just be a matter of running a different search. In this case, I searched for single family. If I were to rerun that search, if I were to completely rerun the search and start with rentals, I just went to single family again. If I were to start with rentals, when I got to the report later, it would be showing me rental data. Okay. Let me go back to it really quick just to show you how to modify the criteria though. Again, I clicked on, in this case, market area League City. And it took me to the TeraDatum reports. This magnifying glass, once you've already have the TeraDatum reports created, that magnifying glass would be how you'd change the data after the fact. But again, if I started the search with rentals, I would see the TeraDatum for rentals. If I started the search with single family, like I did, I see the data for single family. Okay, but property type selection is right here, so I can very easily change that after the fact as well. But typically you would start with the criteria that you're already looking for, which in your case would be rentals. All right. So almost asked a question about subdivisions. It doesn't do this for subdivisions at this time, but I would encourage you to take a look at the statistics report. Right up here at the top of the screen, on the main menu bar, we see the button that says stats. These stats are really, really customizable and helpful. You can save your stats. So if I ran a statistical report for a specific subdivision, I can save it and maybe rerun it later. Maybe next month I want to see what changes there have been. So with this one, you do have a lot more customization options. I could look maybe just a particular subdivision at a particular price point, for example, whereas the TeraDatum reports are a little more just streamlined and they're meant to be just a one-click option for you. So in this case, with the stats, the statistic reports, I can go a little deeper and run my search, with more criteria than what the TeraDatum includes. Okay, and Debbie just mentioned to please, yes, I will definitely submit that suggestion to our MLS department. I'm sure some of them are actually watching right now, so they're probably seeing this as well and already taking note of that suggestion, Debbie. So thank you so much for that. All right, and Lucy just said this is very helpful. I'm glad to hear that. So that is actually all that I have to show you for today. Those were the 3 things that you may have missed in Matrix. Hopefully now you have a better understanding of quick edits, of the 360 property view, and of the TeraDatum reports that are in Matrix. These, again, were all tools that were added to benefit you. Some of these came from suggestions from our members. So like I mentioned earlier, if you have suggestions about anything in Matrix, in the top right hand corner of Matrix, you can always click the feedback button and submit your feedback there. We take all of our feedback from our members very seriously because we want to make it a very efficient tool for you to use, whether you are at your office or out in the field. So that is it for this Member Focus Monday. We hope to see you all back next week. We have a very special guest lined up, so be on the lookout for that announcement later this week. And I hope you all have a great week. Bye-bye.